All right. I'm live. First time live in YouTube here. So hopefully I do this right. Just going to wait a few minutes for everybody to join. So I'm just going to put on a little music and just hang out. All right. We're doing it. Double live. Live on YouTube and live on Instagram. Oh, this should be interesting. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this very brief and super fun webinar. Hi, Cindy. Calm in the chaos. So we are going to take a moment here just together. If you're watching the replay or if you're here live, should just settle in. Just take a breath. Just setting into our intention today, which is to find some calm in all the chaos that's going on around us. Whether that be at home or just in the world, in your mind. Okay. All right. So, friends, let's start with the question of why. Why is it important to find calm in chaos? Hello. Why? Well, this is something that's recently been anchoring in for me. I am someone that spent a majority of my life just kind of rushing around and needing to get everything done. And I grew up in New York City. It's very fast paced. I grew up in that mentality. And the idea of calm when there was a stressful or chaotic situation was like, no, I just have to find a solution now, must find solution now. And what I'm learning and what I'm hoping to share with you today is that for many reasons, including brain chemistry, the best way to make a decision is from a calm nervous system, is from a calm place. So even though in the moment, in these, and or in a general moment, whether that moment is a crisis or whether that moment is just this extended period of so much unrest and uncertainty around us, either way, we are going to make the best decisions for ourselves, for our family, and for the larger human community if we have regulated, calm immune systems, immune systems, and nervous systems and bodies. So that is the number one, or not the number one, that is the first reason that it is important to find a way to be calm in this chaos. Hi, Maria. This is what you get live, me saying hi to friends. So that's one way. The second way is really an energetic. So whether you believe in this or not, that's okay. But my personal belief is that our own energetic, the energetic of our body, of our minds, is contributing to the collective energetic. And the collective energetic is contributing to our energetic. So the more people make a commitment to doing their best, which can be super imperfect, to finding these times of calm, this calm in the body, the more people do that, then collectively we have more people making better decisions. We have more people thinking clearly. We have just a general frequency around us of calm, and that will change the world over time. So that is another reason. Reason B. I'm not putting these in order of priority. It's just what I have. Another reason is that we're all here really to experience joy and have a fulfilled life. And I know that it can feel really challenging to hold that or accept that when everything in the world is so chaotic, when there are other people that are suffering deeply right now, which is always the case, but it's especially prevalent in this. Well, it's actually not especially, but it's just up a lot lately that there's just so much suffering, people in dire circumstances, their lives are threatened. So there's a certain level of guilt that might come up around like, oh no, I don't have the right to experience joy right now. Or maybe you experience that more on a personal level where someone in your family is really suffering, a child or a loved one, or a parent, and it feels wrong to aim for joy in your life. But it goes back to the frequency that we're emitting and that we're contributing. And the more that we can just be a space of love, be a space of calm, that is going to help other people. So that's really why I wanted to do this today. It's a commitment that I've made in my life, and that I am committed to helping as many people that want to as well, which is I'm committed to my own joy and I'm committed to my own calm so that I can be literally of better service to everyone, but that also on a frequency energetic level, my hope is that someday just being in my presence, even if you're just walking by me on the street or whatever it is, will help somebody. And that might sound crazy to some of you right now, but just put it in a little thought box in the back of your head. And someday it might make sense, because we are energetic beings, and on an energetic level, we really can have an influence on our larger community just by being, who we are in the space that we're in. And we've all experienced this, right? You've walked into a room where two people were fighting and you're like, they're not saying anything. Maybe they're even acting and being like, hey, how's it going? But you can feel that the energy is off. So that's what I mean. So really, let's just sink into this reality that it matters. Our calm matters. Being a calm presence in a chaotic space can help a lot of people. So just if you're here live or if you're watching this on a replay, just take a breath. Take a breath into that. And this does not have to be complicated. What we're talking about today is not some big commitment where you're going to have to change your whole life and you're going to have to change your whole day and you're going to have to change everything. But it can be a really small actions that can lead to, in general, a calmer state of being. So let's just anchor that in for a minute together, that commitment. Just feel in your body what it feels like to say to yourself, I'm committed to calm. I'm committed to peace. I'm committed to love. I'm committed to being a space of love in my life for myself and for others, to being a space of calm in myself, in my life for others and for myself. What does that bring forward? Okay, moving on. So, number one, why is calm important? We just went over all that. To make better decisions, to help the collective energy, and because we're here to experience joy. All right, number two, how? How do we make calm a priority in all this chaos? Well, that's really where action comes in. And it's kind of like a catch 22, right? Because as we've discussed, it's it's easier to make better decisions both in the micro of your life and the macro of your life when you're in a space of calm, when your nervous system is centered. And yet that happens by the small decisions that you make. So you just have to start, and you just have to take tiny steps and realize that this is just a winding road. We're imperfect human beings, and we're always going to be that way, and we're just have to continually take steps. So once you make that commitment, I mean, write it down, put it on a sticky note. Like I have sticky notes everywhere, and say, no, I'm committed to calm, whatever it is for you, whatever feels that way. And that can be an action. That can be a simple action. And every time you see that and your mind registers, oh yeah, I'm committed to calm, that's a step. And in a minute, we're going to get into some practices that can really help make that in more of a reality. So making calm a priority can be it can be about shifting some things in your schedule. Like, okay, here's a good example. So right now I'm watching this TV show. It's called Yellow Jackets. I I don't know if I can recommend it because it's like so activating for the nervous system, but it's interesting. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun. It's like going on a roller coaster. It's scary and it's like intense and there's blood and like I like watching it because we like a lot of us like that. A lot of us like that like jacked up feeling. However, I've been watching it at night before bed. Now, I have a practice that I do before I go to sleep. So I'm able to shift out of that before I go to bed. However, it's not really the best decision in terms of like committing to calm. So that's what I mean. You can look at these small ways. And maybe it's just like for me, it's just going to be I notice that. I'm noticing that this choice is a step away from calm and not towards. I'm probably not going to make a different choice because now I need to know what happened. But I'm noticing. So just, maybe it's about, having that awareness in your mind. Okay, what are the decisions that I'm maybe not prioritizing calm? Like when I choose to drink that third cup of coffee at 6 p.m., why am I choosing that? Is that a choice towards calm and balance, or is it a choice away? So really just getting some clarity around the actions that you're taking in your day, or ways of underlying feelings like guilt, or why do I feel like I have to work so hard, or all these things. So that's kind of a way that we can start to dissect why we're not prioritizing calm if we're not. And then finally, it's just going to be about implementing small practices. And I think that it's fantastic to have if you have the time to have like a long morning practice or a long evening practice that really helps you connect spiritually and regulates. But, I feel like many people right now just don't have that space. Maybe you have kids or babies, or you're taking care of an ailing parent, or maybe it's just not something that feels accessible to you, that you're like, I don't even know what I would do if I were to have a morning practice or something like that. So what I want to focus on today is just these tiny little ways throughout your day that you can make calm a priority. And now, not every one of the things that I'm going to show you today or introduce to you today, or maybe re-show you because you've already seen it today, is going to resonate with you. It's not going to feel like, that's not for me. And that's great. That's okay. But maybe there's one practice that does, where you're like, oh, I could incorporate that. That feels manageable. That feels doable. So let's just talk about some of the ways. So let's start on like the really just physical, what's the word, crude level. Okay. And that's going to be around what you're consuming. So if you're someone that consumes a lot of caffeine, maybe you look at that. Maybe you experiment with, what if I have a little less caffeine today? What if I have a little less caffeine in my diet in general, in my way of eating in general? That's one way. Or maybe you're starting your morning, either you're a woman and you're intermittent fasting and you're noticing that, like, actually that's making me a little more anxious, but so and so said it was really good for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. Or maybe you're starting your morning with something that's more sugary, so you're kind of getting that blood sugar shock right in the morning. Maybe you start looking at that, like, is that setting me up for calm during the day? Maybe I could switch to more fat and protein in the morning and see how that feels. So this is just the crude level, or even hydration. Look, calm and hydration go hand in hand. A hydrated body is a calmer body, because when we're not hydrated, our body's got to like alert us to that fact, right? It's like, hey, excuse me, person, you need more water. So I'm going to make you anxious, or I'm going to make you tired, or I'm going to make you thirsty, or I'm going to make you hungry. Like it has to alert us in some way. So hydration is another really sort of crude, simple way that we can increase our calm, increase that template for calm, really. Like, this is, now we're talking about like the template, setting up the base template for calm and for relaxation. So that's one way. Speaking of hydration. And speaking of hydration, maybe you're someone that drinks a lot of water and you're thinking to yourself, like, this is so frustrating. She's talking about hydration. I drink all the water. I drink a lot of water, but I just still don't feel hydrated. Like, I know that I don't feel hydrated. So that's a little hint to get really curious about, like, why that is. And for some people, just plain water isn't going to do it. And so you want to look for something like an electrolyte drink. There's a lot of really great brands out there that don't have a lot of crazy sugar. I'm not talking about Gatorade, no offense Gatorade, but sort of offense Gatorade. But there's a lot of wonderful brands. Feel free to reach out to me if you have no idea, if you're like stuck on that. Happy to point you in the right direction. Or maybe it's about the timing of your water. Maybe you're waking up and having coffee first thing in the morning. And so your body is like, I was already dehydrated and now I'm even more dehydrated. I can't even do it. So maybe a simple switch for you is, I'm just going to commit to drinking 8 ounces of warm water with some salt in it and lemon first thing in the morning. And that's going to be my commitment to calm for the next week. And here's a little like side, I'm going to take a little tangent here, but these can be stacked. So maybe you start on this crude level, right? You're not ready for a practice, you're not ready for a technique, but you're willing to make this one little change. Now, once you make this one little change, you might start feeling a little more calm, or a little better, or having a little more energy. And the more energy you have, which means the more availability you have, the more availability to incorporate something else. So maybe a week from that then, or a month or 6 months, you're like, hey, okay, I have a little more energy, I have a little more space. What else can I add? What else did she mention? And we're going to get to that in a few minutes. So remember that this is a marathon. Our life is a marathon and not a race. And I read something this morning that I'd written down, who knows, a while ago. So I forget who told me this, but I'm sorry to whoever did, and I'm not giving them credit, which is that we have the opportunity to have our full health until we die. So your ability to create better health for yourself, you get that. That's yours until the day that you die. You can always be healthier. You can always be calmer. So if this is, something that's interesting to you, and you're here, so it probably is, don't, if you're American or just human, most of us kind of want that instant result. Like, we want to watch this webinar, this 30-minute, 40-minute webinar, whatever it ends up being. And then we want to be like, okay, great. Now I know how to be calm. I'm going to be calm tomorrow. I'm going to be calm right now. Like, we want that. But what I'm here for and what I'm all about is gently moving forward with a lot of love and a lot of compassion. Am I a calm person? No, probably not. But I am way calmer than I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago. My mother's here. Mom, throw like a little heart there if you agree. If you agree that I'm calmer. So it's not about watching this and all of a sudden being calm tomorrow. It's about making these little changes, these small commitments to yourself, more and more and more, and looking 6 months from now, looking back and saying, yeah, you know what? I am a little calmer and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going on that commitment that I made to myself to be calmer, to be more loving, to have my energy be a place of peace for people in the world. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to forgive myself every time I have a moment where I'm not that. I'm just going to keep forgiving myself and I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep loving myself because being hard on yourself and judging yourself for where you're at or the fact that you didn't watch this webinar and instantly become super, super calm, that's just a way to take steps back, right? That's just a way to take steps backwards. So speaking of calm, let's just take a breath together. Okay, so that's the physical. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. Also, if you need more support, if that's really resonating for you and you're like, I really do think there's things that I'm putting in my body or not putting in my body that are probably contributing to my levels of anxiety and I could use a little more support on that. If that's how you're feeling, reach out. I'm here. I'm always happy to dive in with you. Now let's talk a little bit more about, I don't know what level to call this, but like a practical level. So, all right, we've talked about the idea of a morning practice, which is when you wake up and you have something that you do that, maybe it's journaling or a breathing or meditating that sets you up for the day. Now, some people that might bring up some anxiety because you have kids or you have things that you need to take care of and that just doesn't feel actionable. So what we're going to focus on today is like short little things that you can intersperse throughout your day that don't require doing that. If you do that, that's great. That's awesome. I do that. I love it. I might not always have time though. So let's find out what else we can do. So the first thing I want to talk about is an anchor point. And this is something that I've noticed that I've just started doing and I didn't really realize I was doing it. And then I noticed I was doing it. So what does that mean? That means we're going to choose a motion, a simple motion that you could do. You have the requirements for this motion are that you have to be able to do it while you're driving, while you're eating, while you're talking to someone. So it can't be like, like it can't be something fancy. It has to be very simple. A simple motion that you are going to teach your brain is your anchor point to calm. So for me, it's very simple. I put my hand right here, which is my thymus gland, which is a really amazing master gland in the body. It's like, some people call it like the immune center. It sends vitamin C to the whole body. It's really a great point. So for me, it's just hand right here. And I started doing this intentionally, like, I'm going to put my hand here. I'm going to take a breath. Blah, blah, blah. I had to sort of talk myself through it. Now it's something I do automatically. When I'm stressed out, I notice that I just like put my hand here and take a breath. So that's my anchor. My anchor is my hand goes here and I just take one breath and that's it. And I can do that when I'm driving. I can do that when I'm talking to you. I can do that anytime. So maybe for you, it's, holding your hand in your other hand or grabbing your thumb or, putting your tongue in a certain place in your mouth. But think of a place, think of a movement right now, or if it doesn't have to be right now, but do it today that is going to be your anchor. And as you're doing it, make sure you're doing it a lot. So, at first you might need to set an alarm on your phone or something. I have a million alarms that go off on my phone to remind me to do everything, which my husband finds incredibly annoying, but it's very helpful. It's not easy to remember these things. So maybe you set an alarm that goes off 3 times a day that says anchor. And every time that alarm goes off, you reinforce that for yourself. Okay, this is my anchor. This is my commitment to calm. And usually just taking one breath with that position is all you need. So, for me, I just like to do an inhale through my nose and an exhale through my mouth. And usually there's some sound. And sometimes I do that for longer. And sometimes I just do one breath and keep moving on. And sometimes I just put my hand there. So figure out what that's going to be for you. Keep it really simple. Again, like don't be like, I tap my ear and then I tap my nose and then I'm, like don't make it complicated. Maybe that's resonating for you and you're just like, oh yeah, that's a good one right there. Boom. Maybe it's on your belly. Who knows? It's something for you that's probably like very instinctual, and make that be your anchor to calm. This is my anchor to calm. And my commitment is I'm going to do this multiple times a day, at least 3 times a day now moving forward. Now, no matter what you have going on in your life, you can do that. No matter, I can confidently say that. Someone can type in the chat if they don't think that's possible, but I'm pretty sure that no matter what anyone has going on in their lives, they can do that. So that's the first suggestion today, the first offer. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about breathing. There's a lot of different breathing techniques out there. Breathing is a fantastic way to regulate our nervous system, to access calm. There's some really complicated breathing, people like Wim Hof, or there's techniques like box breathing, which is where you inhale for a certain count, hold for a certain count, exhale for a certain count, and hold for a certain count. There's all sorts of different breathing techniques. And if breathing is something that hydration that you either really love and is really helpful and you're like, oh man, I need to commit to breathing again, great. Or if it's something that's like, oh, I really don't want to breathe, no, breathing's not for me, then you should probably look into it. For me, breathing was something that took some time and some patience and some training, and it still does. My tendency is still to hold my breath. I'm probably doing it right now because I'm talking fast because I don't want to waste your time, which is so silly, right? But anyway, breathing is wonderful. So I'm not going to go into any kind of breathing techniques. I do go into those more like in longer programs and things, or working one-on-one. But I just want to talk a little bit about inhaling and exhaling and the nose and the mouth and all that stuff. So in general, a shorter inhale and a longer exhale is going to be more relaxing. And a longer inhale with a shorter exhale is going to be a little more invigorating. So let's just try it together and see how it feels. So let's just take a really nice long inhale. Let's just do through the nose. You could do the nose or the mouth. And a long exhale. Oh, I messed that up. Sorry. Short inhale, long exhale. Here we go. So you see how that's more relaxing. And then let's switch it. Let's do a long inhale and a short exhale. So, and that's more invigorating, right? So just even knowing that you can control, and I think it's actually more about the exhale than it is so much about the inhale. Like the length of the inhale can be what it is, but it's really more about whatever the length of the exhale is. Like that longer, slower exhale is going to be more relaxing, and that short, quick exhale is going to be a little more invigorating if you need to like get some energy going. So just being investigating breathing and stuff like that is really fantastic for finding calm. And like I said, like in longer sessions or practices, I go into all different types of breathing techniques, but that's a really simple one. And also knowing, breathing, like if you're really panicking, like I'm talking like Cody, I cannot find, see, I just did that. I put my hand there and see it. I cannot find calm for the life of me. Breathing like a dog, like a little puppy, like is a powerful technique to help bring some calm into your nervous system when you're nervous. That I'm talking like you're like jacked, like don't talk, I'm like gone, like not even here, that kind of thing. All right, let me see. I'm looking at my notes every time I look away. Oh yeah, okay. The other thing is really simple and really amazing, right? And I'm going to do this sitting because I'm sitting on a yoga ball, but you might want to do this standing. So all you're going to do is you're going to take an inhale. And on the exhale, you're just going to bounce on your feet or I'm tapping to sit on the yoga ball, and you're just going to make some sound. And you want to make sound for longer than 7 seconds. Thank you, Ahamna. That is the person that told me about this. That 7 seconds is an important amount of time for your body. So you're inhaling. And just try it. Try it right now. No one's watching. I love anyone that came in right now and just saw me doing that. And you're just shaking. Like think about what animals do. When my dog, if we like play rough with her, or if she has a stressful moment, anyone that has a dog knows this. They like shake and then they're fine, right? Or they go back to what they're doing. Maybe they're not fine, but they go back to what they're doing. Most of the time, they're 100% fine. So utilize like shaking your hands, shaking your shoulders, breathing, letting out some sound. We need to make sound. We need to move energy. The thing that makes us anxious is that stuck, compressed energy. So just making sound and moving the energy, just letting it go. And it can be really quick. If you have a car, if you drive, this is a fantastic place, not while you're driving, but just like pull over and just take a moment and shake your body and make sound and just let it out. It's okay. It's okay. I know it's not like socially acceptable necessarily, but it is okay to make sound. It's very important to release that from your body and then let it be gone. Let it be gone. Just let it be gone. It doesn't have to come back. Whew. Okay, so that's another way. So let's review. Let's review some of the things we've talked about in these practices. And again, these are just like short little things. If you want to go deeper, I'm always here for you, but I don't want to like take up a whole lot of time with this. I just want to give you like short little things that you can do quickly. And I don't want to give you too much either, because I want you to walk away being like, "Oh, it was very clear and I know these first things I want to do, and if I want to learn more, I know where I can go." Me, or there's so many other people that you could learn from, right? If this is interesting to you. Okay, so let's review these practices. So the first and the most important, and if you take nothing else from this, I want you to take this, is going to be to find your anchor to calm. What is my anchor to calm? And remember, your anchor to calm is a simple movement that you can do anywhere at any time, and one breath. So for me, hand on heart, I'm committed to calm. Yeah, true. Great. I love you. Okay, bye. That kind of thing, right? The next thing is just maybe investigating breath if that feels good for you. But if not, just knowing like, okay, a longer exhale is going to be more relaxing and a shorter exhale is going to be more invigorating. So if I'm really jacked up, if I'm really feeling a lot of anxiety, just nice long exhales, right? Or if I need some energy, I'm really tired, right? That kind of breathing. You see people do it all the time, and it's like it happens automatically. But okay, so those are the first two things. And the final thing is also just to let sound and movement out. Shake your body, shake your shoulders, tap on your head, move energy. Sometimes we don't need to sit and meditate. Sometimes we need to stand up and yell and move and let that energy go. And knowing the difference is something that is a process, right? There's going to be moments where the way you find calm is to sit down for a second. It could be literally 20 seconds. Find your anchor to calm and take a deep breath. And other times you're going to need to shake and move the energy and let it go. And you got to just experiment and see. It's going to be different all the time. So those are the two things, or the couple things that we're talking about in terms of practices. And let's just review again. Let's review real quick, and then we're going to do a brief little guided moment together for those of you that are feeling that and are in a space where you can do that. I'm just going to give you a little experience for fun. It'll be very, very short, like 3 minutes. But yeah, let's review. So why is this important? Proper decision making, collective energy. We're here to experience joy. How do we make calm a priority? Baby steps, just deciding for yourself that I am going to be a space of calm, a space of love in my life for myself and others. And I'm going to take little steps, and I'm going to look at the ways in which I'm not doing it and see if there are little small things that I can change throughout my day. And for some of you, that might be writing down all the things you do and seeing it. Or other times you might just talk about it with a partner, a friend, whatever works for you. And then the practices we just reviewed. So that's calm in the chaos for you today. That's what I'm here. That's what I wanted to offer. I hope this was helpful. YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, so now we're just going to have a small little experience together. So if you are not in a space that you can sit with your eyes closed, come back to this. This is going to be available, so you can watch it on Instagram or you can watch it on YouTube live. If you signed up via the link, then you'll have this video that you can watch anywhere. You can download it. But if you are in a space where you can close your eyes, go ahead and start to get settled and close your eyes. And maybe see if an anchor comes to mind right now, if an anchor to calm comes to you. It can be really simple. It could even be touching your thumb to your index finger, or maybe touching your palm with your fingers, moving your fingers back and forth on your palm. Whatever is happening for you is right and perfect. And just drop into your breath. Drop into your body. We find calm in our body. We find calm by bringing our consciousness into our body. So just start to notice things about your body. Notice the feeling of your feet on whatever surface they're on. How does your waistband feel against your stomach? Are you hot? Are you cold? Are you comfortable? Is there a part of your body that's more tense right now? Is your jaw clenched, or maybe between your eyes, shoulders? Can you feel your heart beating in your chest? Just feel your heartbeat for a minute. And recognize that you're here. I'm here. I'm here in this body. I'm here in this moment. And you're breathing, which means that you're okay. I'm okay in this moment. I am okay in this moment. See if you can take slightly deeper breaths now. If you found your anchor, feel that connection. And I want you to just imagine that the rain that you're hearing in the background is giving you a beautiful, energetic shower. And it's just cleansing away anything that's not needed. Any thoughts or fears or problems that your body is ready to let go of are just washing away with the rain. Remember that it doesn't take much. It doesn't have to be complicated. And it doesn't have to happen all at once. If when you open your eyes, you find that you are even 1% calmer, that is worth celebrating. Celebrate the ability that you have, that you just made this decision for yourself. Maybe smile to yourself right now. Take a nice deep breath. And let out whatever sound feels like it wants to exit your body. Remember where you are if your eyes are closed. Just remember the room you're in before you open your eyes. And then slowly flutter your eyes open and come back to your day. Thank you so much, friends. I hope that this gave you some ideas and strategies for finding more calm in the chaos. Feel free to come back anytime for that little moment at the end if you weren't able to experience it or if it felt really good. And I'm here for you. I'm here to support you if you need someone to go deeper with. Sending you all so much love, so much calm, so much peace. Have a beautiful day. Bye.